Hello, this is Amin, and you are watching session 43 of ASP.NET Core MVC tutorial. In this session, we introduce another tag helper, which is environment tag helper, and also in the next step, we talk about how you can load a libraries or a packages, same as Bootstrap or jQuery or JavaScript in dynamic way, and I will talk about it later. In this session, we show you how you can load different version of a library in different environment, and if the environment is changed, we can use another version of a library. In session 6, we discussed about the environment in detail and the environment variable and also hosting environment, and we discussed about the three main category of environments, same as development, staging, and production. And in this session, we will show you how you can load, for example, a Bootstrap file in development environment, and also you can load the minified file of Bootstrap and JavaScript in the staging and production stage. And as you can see in this code, environment has one attribute, which is include. And the include is the part that you can say in which environment load which version of JavaScript or Bootstrap or any other libraries. Let's flip to Visual Studio and practice this tag helper. As you can see inside my main layout file in the project that we have been working so far throughout this tutorial, I load the Bootstrap CSS, Java, jQuery .js, and Bootstrap.js, and I'm not loading the minified of this file. If you look at live inside the www root, you can see I have two library, Bootstrap and jQuery library. And if you look at the Bootstrap CSS part, you can see I have the minified file, and also I have the normal CSS file also inside the JS folder, which include the JavaScript of the Bootstrap. You can see I have the minified version and also the normal version, which its size more than the minified version. And in the production mode, and when we want to deploy our web application, it's better to use the minified version to load the pages faster, because the browser needs to download these libraries when they want to render the page. And if we use the minified file, of course the loading time would be less than the time that we use the normal libraries. Also, in the properties in the launchSettings.json file, as I described in session 6 of this tutorial, you can find the environment that you have. And as you can see in IIS Express, I'm in the development environment, and I want to use normal libraries in the development, and also in staging and in the production, I want to use the minified version. That's why here I'm using environment tag helper, and in the environment tag helper, I have an attribute which is include, and I said if the environment is development, load the normal file, which they are not minified. Also, I can set if the environment is changed to a staging or production or any other environment, I can use the minified version. I can do it easily. And again, I use environment tag helper, and I use include. I can use a staging, and with comma, I can add another environment, same as production, and also all the environment that I want. But the other way that I can use this attribute is exclude. If I have several different environment, I can use exclude development. It means if the environment would not be development, load this file instead of the file which will be loaded in development mode. That's why I can use exclude, and then I can mention the environment that I want to be excluded. And here in Bootstrap, I can use the minified version of Bootstrap in the environment which would not be development. And also I need to load jQuery, and then I use the minified version of jQuery. And also for some classes and for some method of Bootstrap, I should use the bootstrap.js, and here I use the minified version. Let me save the project and run the project to see whether in development version which library would be loaded. Project is up and running, and let me check the view page source. And you can see I have bootstrap.css, jQuery.js, and bootstrap.js because I am in development mode. Let me change the environment to a staging or to production and check which version of the libraries will be loaded. I can change the environment here, and I said I'm in production environment. I save the project, and here I load the project again, and this time I check view page source, and you can see this time as I'm not in development mode and I'm not in development environment, and this is exclude development situation, you can see I have the minified version of Bootstrap, jQuery, and Bootstrap JavaScript file. Also, we can ask our web application to use CDN, which is referred to Content Delivery Network. And Content Delivery Network refers to a geographically distributed group of servers which work together to provide fast delivery of internet content. And it has some benefit of using CDN and load the libraries from the CDN, and it somehow increase the speed of our web page, and it's improved the security of our web application. And we can use, for example, CDN of Bootstrap instead of loading the Bootstrap libraries and classes from the local server. If you go to getbootstrap.com and check the installation part, you can see we have link of the CDN version of Bootstrap and also the bundle min.js Bootstrap CDN available, and I can replace it with the local version of Bootstrap that I have in www root live folder. But sometimes due to some reason, maybe the download of the file from CDN will fail, and on that situation I should have a way to download the local library file. In the continuation of this session, I will show you how you can use the libraries file in the dynamic way. And just when the CDN failed, you use the local version and do the failover. And now I want to use these two Bootstrap CDN instead of the local file. But as I just used the Bootstrap file and I'm not using the bundle file, I just replace this one with the local Bootstrap min.css file that I have. I copy this CDN path, and here instead of this one, which load the minified file of Bootstrap, Just let me break this line of code to a smaller part and break it to 3 lines to have it on the same screen. And I remove this one. Also, I can do it for other libraries that I have, same as jQuery, but I leave it for your practice and you can do it for your application. Also, it has a part which is integrity and it is an encrypted token. When the browser decided to download this library from the CDN, the integrity will check with the server, and if the value of these two encrypted token would be different, it means it is a malicious file, and keep us on the safe side that we won't use a malicious file instead of bootstrap.bin.css, and the integrity will be checked with the server, and if it's returned true, the CDN, the file will be downloaded. Otherwise, the CDN will fail. But before talking about this integrity, let's check whether in the uh, production mode, which I set for my application right now, I can use the bootstrap or not. Let me save it and go to the project and refresh the page and check view page source. And you can see now I'm using CDN for downloading the Bootstrap classes, and as you can see, Bootstrap classes is available and downloaded successfully, and my project is using the Bootstrap classes. But in case the integrity would not be equal the integrity of the server, it's failed to download the bootstrap. Let's do some changes in the integrity hash code and then refresh the page to see whether bootstrap will work again or not. Here I, for example, remove this part of this token and I save the project again and I refresh the page, and you can see this time as the bootstrap failed to download, my bootstrap classes won't be applied on my application. And here you can see I have failed to find a valid digest in the CDN path, and that's why I failed to download the CDN, the bootstrap CDN, and my application is not looking in the way that I want. But I want to change my application on the way that if the bootstrap failed to download from CDN, it's automatically download the bootstrap library from the local server. For this purpose, I should add some tag helper, which is related to fallback. And here I add the tag helper that I want to use for doing failover. ASP fallback href, ASP fallback test class, and also ASP suppress fallback integrity. The value of this tag helper, if it is true, it means don't check the integrity and skip the checking integrity. And if I set it to false, it is check the local server file integrity code with the server, and of course it would be different and it won't be downloaded. Let's check it. I save the project and refresh the page, and you can see I again received this error, but the minified file is not loaded as well, because its integrity is different with the integrity version of the CDN. Let's back to project and set the value of that tag helper fallback suppress to true. As I mentioned, this ASP suppress fallback integrity should be true to omit the checking integrity of local library with this server. And let me save the project with this value and refresh the page to see the result. And you can see this time, as I failed to download the bootstrap file from the CDN, I use the local version of the bootstrap classes. And if you look at the view page source, you can see I have the fallback tag helper, which help us to download the library file if the library CDN failed to download. Let me change this integrity code to the original one. And from here, I use this integrity code and replace it with the integrity code that I have changed it. And I save the project and go to the web application page and refresh the page and check whether this time the CDN is working or not. I refresh the page again. And this time you can see I don't have the error which is related to Bootstrap. And again, I use the Bootstrap library, which is in the CDN of Bootstrap. And if I look at the view page source, you can see I have the CDN version downloaded from the CDN of Bootstrap. Also here you can review the code, and we can manage to load our selected library from CDN and load from localhost when CDN is failed. And we can implement this failover and fallback with ASP-fallback-href. And also we can omit the integrity check of the local version with ASP-suppress-fallback-integrity to true. And also it has some other tag helper which would be required when we want to do this practice in our web application. Thank you for watching our tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and follow us on our social media. Once more, thank you for being with us.